Ooh, baby, ooh, baby, ooh, baby, ooh, baby, hey, baby, hey, baby, ooh, baby, ooh, baby. Oh, damn enchiladas. Whew. Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're having a good one. I'm Nick, and today we're diving into Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. We've reached the midway mark into the 80s, so prepare to get cheesy. Again, guys, I am not alone doing these reviews. Go check out Good Real Hunting's channel, Moser Movie Reviews, uh, Review and Rankings with Robbie Sobel, and Filthy Dan's Film Discussion. All four of those channels will be down below in the description, all releasing reviews the same day as mine on Friday, so go check it out. Also, House of the Living Dead is going to be putting on a watch party for this film. They always put out watch parties the same night as our reviews. So once we get all our reviews out, we head on over to their channel and we all have a watch along to the film. Again, their link will be down in the description, guys. Go show all those channels some love and support. And let's get into this one. So Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning, was released in 1985. It stars Melanie Kinnaman, John Shepard, and was directed by Danny Steinman. So like I said, guys, we're getting deep into the cheese with this one. The first four films were fairly serious, I'd say, and going for the terror, while this one does that while incorporating a lot of camp in there. And this film is kind of the perfect border between the first four films and what's to come after with 6, 7, and 8. This one really changes the tone and everything going into the series. So in this one, we follow Tommy Jarvis, the kid from Part 4. He has grown up. I think this is 5 years later, guys. So we're in the year 1989. Now, I know I said 1985 in the second, third, and fourth movies. It's either 85 or 84, depends on which way you look at it. I was looking at it as in the first film taking place in 1980, but a lot of people online in that say it takes place in 79. So in that case, it would work up to 1989 here. So yeah, that's what I'm going with, 1989. So yeah, this is 5 years after the events of Part 4. Tommy went ape shit on Jason and killed the hell out of him with that machete at the end of Part 4. And in this one, we're seeing the aftermath of that. The trauma he went through. As a 12-year-old kid going through something like that, you can just imagine what kind of toll that has on his mental state. I mean, the guy's constantly living in fear now, and he has hallucinations seeing Jason like in certain spots and that, and it's just freaking him the hell out. And I personally just don't like Tommy Jarvis in this one. I do like that they deal with his trauma and the shit that he's going through right now, but he's just so unlikable. Like, his character just has random outbursts where he'll just pick people up and throw them and freak out at them. Yeah, I get it. He's traumatized, but there's better ways to write your characters to get your viewers behind them. And I just was not feeling it with his character in this one, played by John Shepard. And even the way things play out, he's not exactly like a hero in the end or anything. He's barely even the main character in this, which is very odd since this is pretty much the Tommy Jarvis trilogy. I just feel like if you're going to have him in this place, we should at least have him overcome something throughout this film and like grow as a person or as a character. But we don't really ever get that arc, and he's kind of the same throughout the whole film. So Tommy gets sent to Pinehurst, which is like a rehab facility for patients like him to get back into the real world. And he's greeted by Pam when he arrives at Pinehurst. And it's odd to have this rehab center, like, or halfway house or whatever you want to call it, in the middle of the woods, and then send Tommy there after all the shit he's been through in the woods. Kind of odd, but he gets shanghaied up to Pinehurst, and Pam greets him at the door. She is like one of the head workers there. Pam ends up being our final girl, even though she's not alone. And yeah, she's real sweet, nice person, but completely forgettable. Like, when you're thinking of Final Girls and Friday the 13th, this one doesn't even scratch the surface of your list. Like, and it's not that, like, I don't hate her or anything. It's just that she, again, she doesn't really have this whole type of arc thing, like becoming the final girl like we have in our other films. And yeah, she's pretty lame in the end. And aside from being forgettable, she does have her questionable moments, which I'll try to play here for you.
What is it, Reggie? It's Pam. What's the matter? What's the matter? It's me. What is it? What is it?
Another cool character I want to talk about is Reggie the Reckless. A really cool kid who is hanging out at this facility. His grandpa is the cook there, and that's why he's kind of hanging around here. And he actually got quite the scream on him. I think he does a better job at Pam in the scream department. And it is pretty cool that they went with the kid dynamic again. We had that with part 4 with Tommy, and then now we get Reggie. And aside from all the other colorful patients that are around the building, we get the 2 crazy hillbilly neighbors as well. They're right redneck, swearing and shit. They're like something right of a Rob Zombie movie, but even more entertaining in my mind. These 2 are just hilarious. Good old Ethel and Junior. I would have loved to see more of them, even though I understand that they were put there to die. And yeah, they were hilarious and corny at the same time. The best of both worlds, I guess. So once we get to Pinehurst, there's an incident that happens at the start with one of the patients going around offering people chocolate bar and shit. And one of the people he offers is not having it. He's splitting wood, and he's pretty pissed off. He wants nothing to do with Joey, I believe his name is, who's giving away the chocolate bars. And he ends up flipping out at him eventually and chopping the guy up to a bunch of bits. Yeah, and he just loses it. I think Vic is his name. And it's played so serious, but at the same time with the chocolate bar and all that stuff, it's so campy at the same time. And that's what I'm saying. A lot of this film is like that. It's corny, but it's all played so straight, with some pretty good atmosphere like the older films on top of it, which makes for a really neat experience. Now after the incident, the ambulance shows up and the cops and stuff take that guy away. The other one goes to the morgue, and throughout the rest of the runtime, we get this unknown assailant again going around picking people off one by one. And now Jason is dead. We all know that from part 4. But this one really brings that mystery back, being like, well, is he really dead? Because someone is going around killing everybody in these really gruesome ways. Yeah, so this is another whodunit, kind of like the first film, where it was Pamela Voorhees. But this one is Jason. We find out at the end who it really is. But yeah, it's a whodunit in that sense, and it's executed just as badly as the first film. That's one of the biggest problems with this movie, is the whodunit aspect, aside from all the cheesiness. The way things play out, it almost feels like a Scooby-Doo episode at the end, like when the mystery unravels. So basically, this film takes the same slasher formula from the first 4 films, applies it again, a little less good, in my opinion, and a lot more campy. I say the 2 standout kills in this film would be Tina and her lover, the other man, I can't remember his name, the other patient. They run off into the woods, and they're always fooling around and getting caught, whether it be by the cops or by the rednecks or whatever. They don't listen. They go in the woods again and start fooling around. This time they get caught by the killer, who puts garden snippers, or whatever you call them. They're like branch cutters. They go right here in the girl's eyes, and they close it and like snap this little part, screw up her eyes, and it just looks great. It's messy, bloody. And the next kill right after is when the guy finds her. He backs up to a tree, and he gets a belt around his eyes, and they're twisting and twisting in the back, and it's tightening until blood starts coming out under the belt, and it's a gruesome kill. I know when the guy's spinning the stick behind the tree, at one point he switches directions, but besides the point. His kill easily made it into my top 10 kills of the franchise, and hers was an easy honorable mention. And also by this point in the movie, you realize this is the sleaziest entry so far, and pretty much the whole series, I'd say. Not to say that we didn't have nudity in these films before, but this one takes it an extra step. The shots linger a lot longer, we'll just say that. It's not a bad thing, not a complaint. It's just very noticeable. And eventually, after all the killings happen in that, and we're down to our final act, we get Pam and Reggie essentially running for their lives and trying to get away from this killer once they're the last two. And Tommy as well shows up randomly. They end up by a barn, which is really cool, like part 3. And I really like that whole scene with Reggie taking out the tractor and everything and hitting Jason. Up to the point where they end up in the barn and they're fighting him off. And this is where Tommy should have went apeshit on this imposter, this Jason imposter, because he's been doing it the whole movie to randoms or people who give him lip. So why wouldn't he do it to this guy? But no, he has a moment and screws up, and he doesn't end up doing too much. It ends up being Reggie and Pam having to fight for their lives. Until the very end, when their imposter's hanging, and Tommy finally does something. He comes out of nowhere and gets him in the wrist with the machete. Dropping the imposter down on this like a row of spikes made for farming equipment or whatever. And the spikes go through him and shit. Kill could have looked a lot better, a lot more bloody and stuff. And the reveal is here. This is where we find out who the killer is. Spoiler alert, it's Roy Burns. You might be thinking, who the hell's Roy Burns? Well, Roy Burns was the ambulance driver who showed up at Pinehurst when the kid got chopped up to pieces. He was the father of that kid. And he snapped after seeing his kid like that and kills all the other patients and people around in the town that mess with him or just happen to be there, I guess, end up dying. And it's like, I get it. That was his son. In the first movie, we had Pamela killing everybody to get vengeance of her boy, Jason, that drowned. He's trying to do it for Joey. But what I don't get is he didn't really seem to care for his son before that. I mean, he had him in this institution-like place, never visited him. No one even knew that he was the father. So for him to snap like this is kind of out of nowhere. And it really is out of nowhere in this film. He is almost too much a suspect and not enough at the same time. Like, once you know it's him, it's so obvious. He's like staring at the camera at random times, like, and it just fades out. Or like a cop will be saying like, what is going on here? And he'll be like, you talking to me, Sheriff? And it's like, it's so obvious that it's him. I think it could have been written a lot better. You could have still made it mysterious, and I think they should have set it up to make Tommy look like it was him the whole time, but it's not. It's really Roy. But have Roy more in the movie and have him, I don't know, have him connect with Joey before he dies or something. Like, it just did nothing added up. It's not that Friday the 13th has to make sense, because most of these movies don't make sense. It's just the fact that they skipped over a few steps in the writing process here, which I think would have really elevated the screenplay anyway. So the film ends with Tommy in his hospital bed after the events at the barn. And it kind of leaves you thinking Tommy is going to be the killer now on. The movie basically ends the same as part 4, how part 4 had Tommy looking all crazy in the camera with his eyes, which he did end up becoming crazy, but not the killer. But in this one, it's almost the same thing. It almost sets him up to be Jason in the next film, which would have made sense, a new beginning, like, you know. So aside from what I already mentioned, there is a few other fun, memorable scenes in this film. One of them being Demon, that's Reggie's older brother. He got the enchilada scene. Everybody knows this scene. He had too many damn enchiladas. He runs to the outhouse, and you get this cool little part with him and his girls singing, one inside and one outside the bathroom. The ooh baby, hey baby. That's a really cute little scene. And then he thinks that she's fucking with him in there, but it's really Jason imposter, Roy Burns, outside ready to kill him. And he ends up killing the girl, and when Demon pokes his head out to look, you can see her there dead. And I always found this scene funny because her throat's slit, but her heartbeat is like so strong. It's her pulse is pouncing so much that I'm like, there's no way she's dead right now. Another really memorable scene, or scenes I should say, is all the Violet scenes of her with her dancing. I always get a kick of that, especially the one with the Eyes song. I forget what it's called, but yeah, and Jason goes and kills her, and she's doing the robot dance. Just a classic scene. I mean, all the interactions we get with the neighbor rednecks are all gold. Even some of the random kills that we get, like we get a pair of greasers getting killed off on the road, which feels like it's for no reason at all, but a lot of these kills were filled in after the fact. The movie was already made. They noticed it wasn't a big enough body count, so they went back, did reshoots, and added in a few extra scenes of just random people getting picked off. But I'm glad they did, because they're entertaining and it gives you a bigger body count. So guys, this is in no way a good film, but it has a lot of entertainment value, a lot of rewatchability. Like, if I would have did this review about 15 years ago, I would have shit on this so much and put it way down in my ratings. But over the years, you get to appreciate this one more and more, and just how silly and crazy it is. And it's just so rewatchable. And on top of that, the atmosphere is actually really good in this. It's just as good as the first 4 films, and they sort of lose that after a while in this franchise. So if I was keeping it real, I would have to give this like a 4 out of 10, guys. But like I said, over the years, I've grown to love this one. Well, not love, but like it a lot more than what I did. And it's just so damn rewatchable that I have to give it a 6 out of 10. Yes, you heard it right. I'm giving this one a passing mark. And it's I don't know if it deserves it, but it's cool, it's funny, it's crazy, and that's what I love about it. And it really stands on its own. There's no other film in the franchise like this one. So there you have it. That's my review for Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning. A very cheesy but fun film. Don't forget to check out everybody else's reviews in the gang. They will be in the description, guys. I'll put links for all their channels, reviews, at the same time as mine. Go check them out. Give them some love. And I'll be back next Friday with one of my faves, Jason Lives. Until then, take care and thanks for watching.